Good morning, students. We have started our lesson number 15, Life Processes in Living Organism of Science 2. And in our previous lecture, we have studied about transportation in plants, excretion in plants, and excretion in human beings. So children, today in this video, we shall learn about coordination. Now, what is the need and importance of coordination? For the efficiency and effectiveness. Coordination helps to improve the efficiency of operations by avoiding overlapping efforts and duplication of work. Quality of coordination determines the effectiveness of organized efforts. Coordination helps to ensure unity of action in the face of disruptive forces. It helps unity of action and helps to avoid conflicts between line and staff members. Isn't it, children? So likewise, there are several different organ systems which functions in multicellular organism. Their life goes on smoothly if there is coordination between the different organ systems or organs and the stimuli in the surroundings. So depending on this, the systematic regulation of different processes in proper sequence is called the coordination. Coordination is the process through which two or more organs interact and complement the function of one another. If any activity in the body is to be completed successfully, proper coordination between systems and organs participating at different steps of that activity is necessary. If, due to lack of coordination or some other factor, there is confusion at any step, the activity may not get completed. There needs to be proper coordination between internal activities of the body resulting from the various factors like body temperature, water level, enzyme level, etc., or stimuli arising in the environment. So proper coordination between various systems of an organism helps to maintain a state of equilibrium called hemostasis. Got it, children? So first let us study about coordination in plants. Plants movement. Different parts of the plants show movement in response to various external stimuli. Touch, light, gravity, and water are the stimuli that triggers the plant movement. Plant movements are categorized into two types: trophic movement and nastic movement. Now, in trophic movement, it is the movement of plant towards stimulus. If the growth is towards the direction of the stimulus, the tropism is referred to as positive. If it is against the direction of the stimulus, it is referred to as negative. Now, what is phototropism? Plants are very sensitive to light. The shoots tend to grow towards the light. This type of plant movement in response to light is known as phototropism. In phototropism, the shoot is positively phototrophic, whereas the root is negatively phototropic. Understood? Geotropism. The roots of plants grow downwards while their shoots grow upward against the gravity. This type of plant movement in response to gravity is known as geotropism. In geotropism, the shoot is negatively geotropic and the root is positively geotropic. Hydrotropism. The roots of plants grow towards the source of water. This is known as hydrotropism. Roots are positively hydrotropic. As you can observe here. Chemotropism. The movement due to chemical stimulus is known as chemotropism. For example, pollen tube grows towards the ovules. Nastic movements. In mimosa plant, the folding of leaflets of sensitive plants like touch me not, the opening and closing of the petals. The closing of pitcher of insectivorous plants, etc. The closing of pitcher of the insectivorous plants. These movements are known as nastic movements. Understood, children? Now let's study coordination in human beings. Let us study the neuron or nerve cell. In human, control and coordination are provided by nervous and muscular tissues. All the information of our environment is detected by the specialized tip of some nerve cells. These receptors are usually located in our sense organ. Nerve cells or neurons respond to external and internal stimuli. Let us understand the structure of neuron or nerve cells. A neuron is a nerve cell with branches. It is the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. It may be elongated over 100 centimeter. A neuron can detect, receive, and conduct the nerve impulse to various parts of the body. Cytosol is also called the cell body. Its granular cytoplasm is called neuroplasm, and at the center is the spherical nucleus with nucleolus is present. Nissl granules are a number of small granules of various shapes found in the neuroplasm. Then dendrons are the branched projection of a neuron that acts to conduct the electrical stimulation. Dendrites, these are terminal branches that arise from dendrons. Axon, it is single, long and cylindrical. Its primary function is to conduct the nerve impulses away from the cyton. The plasma membrane of neuron is called the neurolemma. The axon is covered by medullary sheath and possesses node of Ranvier. It may form a number of terminal arborizations. Let us understand how the nerve impulses travels in the body. So children, stimuli acquired at the end of the dendritic tips of a nerve cell sets off a chemical reaction that creates an electrical impulse. This impulse travels from the dendrites to the cell bodies and then along the axons to its end. At the end of the axon, the electrical impulse set off the release of some chemicals. These chemicals cross the gaps or the synapse and start a similar electrical impulse in the dendrites of the next neuron. This is the general scheme of how a nervous impulse travels in the body. A similar synapse finally allows the delivery of such impulses. So did you understood, children? Okay, now let's see the summary of today's topic. Systematic regulation of different processes in proper sequence is called coordination. Proper coordination between various systems of an organism helps to maintain a state of equilibrium called homeostasis. Coordination in plants. All living organisms respond to environmental stimuli. Animals have nervous system and endocrine system for control and coordination. Plants also respond to stimuli by secreting chemicals. Plants exhibit some movements. Now these movements of plants are divided into two: directional or tropic movements, non-directional or nastic movements. So what happens in tropic movement? It occurs in the direction of the stimulus, and nastic movement, non-growth movement and independent of stimulus. Now the types of tropic movements are phototropism through light, geotropism, gravity, hydrotropism, water, chemotropism through chemicals, and thigmotropism through touch. Let's see what is phototropism. It is the growth of plants in response to light. Positive phototropism. Shoots respond by bending towards the light. And negative phototropism. Roots respond by bending away from light. So this is phototropism. Geotropism. It is the movement of a plant in response to gravity, either downwards or upwards. Positive geotropism. Roots grow towards the ground, and negative geotropism. Shoots by growing away from the ground. Hydrotropism. It is a growth response in which the direction is determined by the stimuli of water. For example, roots grow towards the source of water. Chemotropism. It is the growth of movement of a plant in response to chemical stimulus. For example, growth of pollen tube towards the ovules. Thigmotropism. It is the directional growth of a plant part in response to the touch of an object. Climbers produce the tendrils which move towards a source of support in order to coil around it and help the plant to climb. Got it? Now in nervous coordination, it is brought about by means of nervous system, which is the quickest way of communication in the body of an animal by electrochemical messages called as nerve impulses. So the role of nervous system is detect changes by receptor, process the received sensory information and initiates the response, help us think and act consciously, stores information and allows us to learn from past experiences, adapts the body to changes in the environment, controls and coordinates the activities of all other organisms in the body. Neurons. The neural system of all the animals is composed of highly specialized cells called neurons, which can detect, receive, and transmit different kinds of stimuli. Responses of humans, animals, and plants to stimuli. What happens? Now, stimulus. Changes in the external and internal environment. Then, receptor. It detects the stimulus. Then, afferent neuron. These carries the nerve impulses to the integrating center, that is central nervous system in the brain. Afferent neuron carries the nerve impulse from the brain to the effector, and then effector it reacts to cause a response through muscles and glands. Now there are three types of neurons. First is sensory or afferent neuron. These are the receptors that detects the changes in body and external environment. This information is transmitted into brain or spinal cord. The second is interneurons or association neurons. They lie between sensory and motor pathways in central nervous system. And 90% of our neurons are interneurons. They process, store and retrieve information. The next is motor or afferent neuron. It sends signals out to the muscles and gland cells. They are the organs that carry out responses called effectors. So children, wasn't this interesting topic? Yes, it was. So, we have come to an end of today's topic, children. Hope You all must have found it interesting and the concept is clear. So we shall see you in the next video with a new topic. Till then, read the lesson and go through the notes. Thank you, children. Take care. Bye, children.